Hello, I'm Dr. Tara Palmatier of shrinkformen.com. If you have a question or would like to schedule a session with me, you can reach me at shrinkformen@gmail.com. The topic of this video is Crazy Jerk the Musical, the professional victim's narrative, and the title was too long for YouTube, Why She or He Won't Be Different with the Next Guy or Gal. I originally published this back in 2012 on my website. So here we go. Why did she treat me so bad? How can she move on to the next guy so quickly? What does he have that I don't have? What if I'd only done this instead of that? What if I'd said X instead of Y? Did she ever really love me? She says she's never been as happy as she is with the new guy. Why couldn't she be happy with me? Being in love with an abusive, high conflict and or narcissist, histrionic, borderline, or psychopath, regardless of gender, can do a number on you. Whether you were together 5 months or 25 years, it doesn't matter. An abusive partner can undermine your confidence, destroy your self-esteem, destroy your career, damage your other relationships, and cause a host of other detrimental physical and emotional problems. Neither crazy nor abuse are gender issues. Recognizing these issues and providing support to those in need is a societal gender issue, unfortunately. And by that I mean, collectively as a culture, we don't do enough to recognize and support the very real issues of men who are in relationships with abusive partners. Many men and women are unable to move on after ending a relationship with an abusive partner. They ruminate, obsess, and replay the relationship over and over again in their minds, trying to make sense of what happened and what they could have done differently to live happily ever after. If this is where you're stuck, please understand, there is no happily ever after with these individuals. Your happily ever after is getting away and staying away from them, understanding what attracted you to them, why you tolerated it for so long, healing, getting yourself and your life back, and moving forward without looking back. Whether you realize it or not, if your abusive ex has cut you loose and moved on to their next target / unsuspecting victim, they've done you a huge favor. She will not be different with the next guy. He will not be different with the next gal. These individuals continue to repeat the same relationship patterns until they drop dead. Consider your own experiences. If you're a trauma bonding codependent, you've likely repeated relationship patterns too. How many selfish, self-absorbed, emotionally immature, emotional reasoning, exploitative, needy, one-sided relationships have you been in with partners who ultimately don't care about you, your wants, needs, and feelings? If the answer is more than one, you have a type, and your type isn't healthy for you. Men and women who follow Shrink for Men frequently remark upon how similar to their experiences the behaviors and qualities described in the articles and videos are. Do you have a camera in my house? It's like you've written the story of my relationship. To me, these similarities are most likely indicative that there may be a personality disorder at play, because the similarities are so striking and uncanny. It also means that the crazy and abusive behaviors you've experienced aren't personal. Yes, they feel incredibly personal, but they're not. It wasn't you. You didn't make her crazy. You didn't make him crazy. You didn't make them abusive. You're not the cause of their issues. You can't fix her or love him to health and wellness. Love does not conquer all, and it certainly isn't the cure for narcissistic, sociopathic, histrionic, and borderline behaviors and disorders. I repeat, the abuse wasn't personal. You were just an object, a prop in the scripted reality psychodrama this kind of person has going on in their head, in which she's the long-suffering victim or heroine, and you're the piece of garbage loser villain. She is engaging in repetition compulsion. If you have a pattern of getting involved with crazy, you're probably engaging in some combination of repetition compulsion, codependency, trauma bonding, seeking secondary gains, and avoiding secondary losses. If you're still having trouble understanding and accepting that your partner or ex isn't going to magically transform and be wonderful with the next guy, hopefully the following simile will help. Think of your wife or husband, girlfriend or boyfriend or ex as a Broadway play. Crazy Jerk the musical. In the article, I use a different word than jerk, but we do want YouTube monetization. Perhaps this comparison is puzzling to you. What does my ex have in common with a play? Some shows have been running on Broadway for decades. For example, West Side Story has been in and out of production since its premiere in 1957. The actress who played Maria in West Side Story 50 plus years ago isn't the same actress on stage today. Even though the actors have changed, the story and the story's ending haven't. The voices are different, the delivery is different, but it's the same song and dance every performance and the same ending. Tony dies and Maria cries. Relationships with abusers are similar in this respect. Think of your ex or current partner as Crazy Jerk the musical, or The Ice Queen Cometh, or The Drama King, or Entitled, or I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. That's actually a real play. You're just another hopeful up-and-comer cast in the role of hero, rescuer, knight in shining armor, undeserving villain, screw-up, loser, to her victim, waif, queen, I'm too good for you and you don't deserve me, fiercely independent diva. You get to have your turn on the boards, and so will the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, or the next gal, and the next gal, and the next gal. But it's essentially the same darn script over and over again. If your wife, friend, girlfriend, or ex, or husband, boyfriend, or ex was a Broadway play, it might go a little something like this. And I'm going to frame this for men in a relationship with an abusive woman, because this is Shrink for Men. So sorry if you're feeling out, ladies. Congratulations. You've been chosen to play the romantic male lead, Tom, Dick, and Harry, to the female heroine, Mimi First, in the stage production, Crazy Jerk the musical. Act 1. Mimi First is the beautiful, fragile damsel in distress. Her dad was abusive. All her boyfriends and husbands were abusive. But Tom, Dick, and Harry is different. He's special. No one has ever been so kind to Mimi. No one has ever treated her so well. She's never felt such a strong connection to a man before. She never went to bed so quickly with a man before. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Tom is her true soulmate, as opposed to the 7 other soulmates she dated before him. Tom will show Mimi that not all men are jerks, and he'll treat her with such love and tenderness that she'll learn to trust and love again. Ah, the love bombing. Mimi and Tom embrace, sharing a passionate kiss as the stage light dims and the curtains close. End of Act 1. Act 2. Mimi First and Tom, Dick, and Harry get married after a 6-month whirlwind courtship. They welcome their first child into the world 8 months later. Goldie First, Dick, and Harry of the Golden Uterus matriarchal line. Alas, Mimi's love soon turns into contempt. Nothing Tom does is right. He works too much, but doesn't earn enough money to support Mimi's spending. Mimi refuses to get a job to help with the finances, even though Goldie is enrolled in school full-time. Mimi reminds Tom he promised to take care of her and protect her from having to deal with reality and adult responsibilities. In a futile effort to win back Mimi's love and adoration, Tom buys a house he can't afford. He buys her a blinged-out SUV, even though they live in Miami, where it doesn't snow, and Mimi only travels 1.6 miles to Goldie's school in Zumba. Tom works longer hours and takes care of Goldie when he comes home at night, and the household chores, because he has no idea how hard it is being a stay-at-home mom with a nanny. Mimi claims Tom doesn't love her and accuses him of having affairs when he gets caught in traffic and arrives home 10 minutes late from work. The harder Tom tries to make Mimi happy and prove his love, the more unappreciative and cruel Mimi becomes. End of Act 2. Act 3. While Tom is fixing Mimi's computer, a message alert pops up. Tom recognizes the name. His heart sinks. Mimi's been communicating with ex-soulmate and abusive jerk number 1, Joey Sucka, on Facebook Messenger. Tom reads messages from Mimi to Joey in which she describes Tom as abusive, cruel, lousy in bed, uncaring, cheap, and a terrible father. Mimi writes that she never stopped loving Joey Sucka and that it's his touch and his touch alone that makes her feel alive, and if only there was a way for them to be together. Heartbroken, sad, and angry, Tom confronts Mimi about her affair with Joey. Instead of responding with remorse and contrition, Mimi erupts. She lashes out at Tom. Who does he think he is? How dare he read her private emails? Mimi accuses Tom of being a paranoid, disgusting, perverted creep who has trust issues. How dare Tom violate her privacy? It's Tom's fault Mimi had to turn to another man. Mimi screams that she'll never be able to trust Tom again for discovering her affair. I'm making fun of this, but this really happens. Tom reminds Mimi of all the horrible things she told him about Joey Sucka when they first met and fell in love. Mimi snarls in rage that she never said any such thing about Joey. Tom is making it all up. She exclaims Joey is a real man, and if Tom doesn't watch his mouth, she will take her daughter and leave him, and he'll never see Goldie again. Tom begs. Tom pleads. Tom apologizes to Mimi for being angry about her affair. He promises to work harder to give Mimi the life she deserves. He promises he'll go to therapy to fix his trust issues. He promises her the world, if only they can go back to the way things were when she was love bombing him. Mimi smirks and says nothing. End scene. 3 days later, Tom arrives home from work to find a police car in his driveway. The officers tell him he's to collect his personal belongings and that he needs to find another place to stay. You see, while Tom was at work earning money to provide for Mimi and Goldie, Mimi went to the courthouse and obtained an ex parte restraining order because she's afraid of him. Even though Tom's never been violent toward Mimi, nor has he ever threatened violence. The police tell Tom he can't be anywhere near Mimi or Goldie and recommend that he get an attorney. Dim lights on Tom and police end scene. Stage lights on Mimi and Joey Sucka sharing a romantic dinner. Mimi tells Joey that her dad abused her. All of her boyfriends abused her. All of her husbands abused her. But Joey Sucka, aka the recycled new Tom, Dick, and Harry, is different. He's special. Wash, rinse, repeat, the end. Mimi may not marry and or divorce the new Tom, Dick, and Harry, but the same narrative will play out again and again. There are different variations to this tale, depending upon the individuals, of course, but it is a narrative or a script, and it is repeating. This kind of individual casts you into a role that has nothing to do with who you are in reality. You will be devalued and force-fit into the role of villain, that's the Cartman triangle, after the love bombing or idealization stage ends. It's only a matter of time. The only way this script changes is if Mimi becomes involved with another abuser. Then she really will be victimized instead of play acting the role of victim. Did your rescuer impulses just switch on while hearing that last sentence? If so, put your noble steed back in its stall and lower your lance. There's nothing a professional victim loves more than being victimized. Don't try to rescue a professional victim, whether they're female or male, from an actual abuser. Instead, stay clear of them while they cannibalize each other and get on with your life. If you share a child, Gather evidence to show the court that the mother or father is endangering the child by exposing them to an abusive environment. But whatever you do, don't get in between the two loons and their love. Got the name Mimi from a woman who was following my website back in 2012. I don't know if she's still around. When the Scapegoat Quits. She's an adult child of a narcissist who gave her mother the pseudonym of Mimi, which is frankly the perfect name for a female narcissist. After I published this article, some of the commenters and myself came up with the musical score for Crazy Jerk the Musical, which include You Never, You Always, How Dare You, My Father Knows a Judge, I'm Sorry, But, Keeping It Real, The Truth Is Mean, What About My Feelings, I Will Destroy You, It's All Your Fault, Who Do You Think the Cops Are Going to Believe, Mr. Man? The Victim Suite in C Major, She Got the Gold Mine, I Got the Shaft. That's an actual song by Mel Tillis, Merle Haggard, I don't know, some country singer. I don't follow country. You'll Never See Your Kids Again, I, Me, Mine, actual George Harrison song. It's Different When I Do It, You Have No Friends. You Should Hear What Your Friends Say About You. Of course, the classic, I Love You, I Hate You. I'm going to wash the life right out of that man. I can't remember who came up with that one, but that's pretty funny. No one will ever love you like I did. You better hope not. And everyone's a little crazy sometimes. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm Dr. Tara Palmatier of shrinkformen.com. If you have a question or would like to schedule a session with me, you can reach me at shrinkformen@gmail.com. Have a good day. Button, where is the button? There it is. Okay.